Peace in, folks. How you doing? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. We're always trying, right? So, after seeing old Norris the other day on YouTube, having a pop at COVID deniers specifically, which is fine. I'm not a COVID denier. Haven't been, have I? So, but I get spoken to like I'm one. Anyway, so after seeing old Norris having her little pop at free speech and equality and encouraging everyone to shut down anyone who dares to speak out against the narrative, I just thought I'd start, and I've been kind of looking. So obviously I go starting conversations that are controversial on purpose. I'm not trying to start trouble, not trying to be a troublemaker, I half the time don't make clear statements to start with because I'm trying to open up a conversation. So I'm being a little bit more, I'm either trying to entice someone in, or I do all types of things, right? Anyway, so I thought after I'd have I had a couple of interactions where I was just being shut down, and I was because I wasn't speaking like, oh my God, COVID's killing everyone, we must hide. I was all of a sudden a COVID denier. People were rude to me all over the place. I mean, I get it often. I'm thick-skinned, not like reptilian. My heart is 1 in a million. It's a rhyme I wrote years back. I love it. But it's true. It's cool. I've been doing this a while. I'm used to speaking out. I get it. Some people are just going to attack me. But, I do the same. I do the same thing that I've always tried to do. I'm getting better at doing it. And that's just to continue pressing. I ended up calling someone a mug today because turns out this person was a she. If I'd have known it was a she, I'd have probably used a different term instead of mug, because mug's a very male term for me. I've got my own gender biases when I speak, right? Anyway, this person was speaking down to me. They were talking to me like I was an idiot. And so I called them a mug. Because if you're going to come and be rude to me and you think you're being clever with your words, or you think you're going to be, I'm not stupid, I'm a wordsmith. Like, I've played with words like my entire life. My parents were fascinated with words. My dad was fascinated with words. Words is a thing in that part of my family. Like, I love wordplay. I was raised around academics. I'm not one. But I'm not stupid either. I've chosen to inform myself. That doesn't make me a conspiracy theorist. Someone the other day, again, because I've been doing this for a while, just using the mainstream information, and I keep getting people that are obviously already aware of these things coming and saying things to me like I don't know, which is really funny. It's funny. Because I'm still making the same argument they are, although some of them are saying COVID is a hoax, and that just isn't true. The strain of COVID is not a hoax, it's very real. The government have been tracking it since, 2010. Like I've said, they genetically modified it so it would take to our gene. COVID is real. Like, there's no ifs, buts or maybes about that. People have died from it. But how many, we don't fucking know, because even the government themselves said that they fudged the numbers. But yet we're supposed to lay all our trust in this permanently contradicting, untrustworthy, lying government. Contradictions happen, right? I, myself, can be a contradiction. It can appear. Right, because if you just base plate take something that I say just in one dimensional, then you could lay that off against something else I might say if you take that in a one-dimensional way and then make me out to be a contradiction. But normally these contradictions are normally quite healthy, and it's normally the sake that life is a contradiction. You can't have up without down. I'm not a cardboard cut out copy. None of us are. We're all people. We're all feeling, thinking human beings that are fundamentally made out of fucking energy, frequency and vibration. Like, sure, I can't put my hand through me, but I know I'm not solid, because that's what the science tells us. Because I've been following the science for years. I watch fucking 6-hour science conferences. I was a few years back, 3 years back. I don't tend to do 6-hour science conferences now. I was done with that side of my curiosity, right? Until recently, I've had to like dig into science again in this more like biological way, because the government said, follow, you know, do what the science tells you. Well, then I started realising that science wasn't telling us the same as what the government were. And in fact, what the WHO was saying was being different to the UK government, and then they'd join and say the same thing for a while, and then they were saying different things again. Who's saying what? Who do we trust? Us. Like, fuck, man. Who's trusted the government? I don't remember having a conversation with anyone when I used to go to the pub about fucking trusting the government. Who does that? But we've been fear-factored. And I'm sorry, people don't like the fact that human beings, me included, can be manipulated. It's one of the reasons why I take time to be objective. It's one of the reasons why I take time to analyse the situation. Why I take time to be observant, because we can be manipulated. I know it's possible. It's not nice. I get that. But I want to see us change. So I know conversations need to have. That's why I started the group, the People's Platform, because I want conversation free from all these people that think they can come and insult me. And what? Because there's so many of them, I'm either going to shut up, back down, or what? No. I'm not that person. You come at me and attack me, I'm going to hold my ground even more. I'm open to being wrong about something, but I wasn't even saying I was right about something. Right? I, in this particular instance, in what is happening globally, am raising questions because there's fucking potholes everywhere. So I'm raising questions. I haven't got a set fucking... Like, you can watch back over my videos. Only 15 minutes long, don't take that long, some of them are fun, right? And you can watch back over my videos, and I won't make a solid point on COVID. I may say I lean towards a certain way, but even at that, it is... You can't know for sure, because the government never put forward any scientific papers, did they? Like, people think they can catch it outside. There's no scientific evidence, no studies that have been done that are showing that this virus can be caught outside. The case rate's going up. Everyone's blaming the protesters. How many protesters do you think have been tested for COVID? How many people that don't wear masks do you think are being tested for COVID? I'm going to say that number's probably fucking low. So, I'm not saying there's no such thing as COVID. Of course there is. That's ridiculous. I'm not saying that no one should wear a mask, ever. We don't know enough to say that. Sure. The group that's at risk, which is when you look at the numbers that have been released, the mainstream information will show you, right, that the risk area is over 70, mainly over 75, like in between 75 and 85, right, which is, funnily enough, the average death rate anyway. It's the average, like, there's so many potholes in this. The fact that COVID is being cased on everything all over the place. Potholes, it's just potholes everywhere. So I've got questions. So no, I don't believe the narrative. Yes, I understand COVID. No, I don't believe the narrative. That's acceptable, that's okay, and that's healthy. I'm not going to blindly follow no one. I don't give a fuck whether you're David Icke. I don't give a fuck whether you're Boris Johnson. I don't give a fuck if you're Muhammad Ali. I am not blindly following anything anyone says ever. We all need to get to that. But that's not what we've been taught, is it? We've not been taught to think like that. We've been taught to think like learn, regurgitate, repeat. Learn, regurgitate, repeat. I don't see that as real learning. Learning is, there's that bit of information. Ooh, let me question that. Okay, let me question that. And let me question that. You question things that are all around the situation, because no one situation is black and white. No one situation is left and right. You've always got the middle point and everything in between it. Come on, right? So I claim to be curious, not a know-it-all. And there's a problem happening right now because the TV is telling everyone basically free speech shouldn't be happening and you need to silence people. What is that all about? What is that all about? Why are we not asking questions on this? What? How come, like I was going in to say before I keep getting really heightened, and because, you know, that's how I feel right now, right? Is the fact that where's all the science that the government gave us? Where did the government say we've got this situation going on, here's this, and this, right? Because I work with researchers who show their information, whether it be any range of scientific, you know, which is a really broad range, right? From archaeology has science in it, to fucking astronomy has science in it, to biology, right? Like, the government didn't offer us any credible information. They told us something. They got Gauci, the fucking big pharma puppet out. There's hundreds of thousands of doctors online speaking out against the lockdown regulations. No one's denying COVID. Some people are, because there's a big question mark around the test on it. But I've been avoiding that one recently. Because what's the point? You don't even need to use that when you've got all the numbers and everything else that shows this isn't a pandemic. Yes, COVID's real. And everyone's baying for this vaccine. It's a brand new style of vaccine. Hasn't been through rigorous testing. It's a brand new style of vaccine. They haven't made it in the ways they've made the flu vaccine and other vaccines. And even if they had, it's only been worked on for the last 6 months, officially. I know they've been trying to make antibodies for it a few years back. I'm assuming they must have managed by then. But they hybrided it. It was a hybrid virus. This isn't something naturally that jumped out of bats. They fucking genetically modified it. That's a fact, Jack. That's not even a secret. I've got a video on YouTube where I recorded a government live feed, or a government feed, right? So it's official from Parliament. And the official government spokesman is saying how they've known about it since, 2010 or something. I paused it. I'm like, he said what? Boom, back to it. And he says they genetically modified it. What? Something, my friends, does not smell right if it looks like, smells like, walks like, talks like, it must be. So something ain't right. And I've wanted change since long before this. And this gives me even more reason for it, because look at how everyone's reacted. Look at how people are starting to treat each other. Is this the society we want? What happens when you're on the end of the whipping stick of the justified public? Psychological warfare. Hashtag psychological activist. There's a reason why I'm speaking out. I'm far from stupid. I've been analysing. something ain't right with this and we're fucking up on that time, people. So I'm going to have to wish you well. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave you. Use the force. Positive mental attitude. Be kind with your thoughts to yourselves and to others. Keep loving your hearts for yourselves like you would for others. And let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness course. Peace in.